Hi and welcome along to this video where I'm going to take you through my DVD TV series. Now I've been collecting DVD TV series for a long time and I do love to sit down and watch them, and funny enough I do watch these more regularly than I probably do. Well, I don't watch them more regularly in my films, but I do watch them very regularly. It's not as if they just sit on the shelf and do nothing. I do watch them quite frequently and I do enjoy all of these ones. I don't feel like I've kept any that are not going to be ever watched again. I don't keep them for any reason. If a TV series doesn't fly with us, it doesn't get kept or it doesn't get bought. And a lot of these you can get very cheap in CEX. I probably have bought these at the time of release, but there's a few I've went to CEX and they've been next to nothing, 50 pence, so they're not going to break the bank for you. So I'm going to go from A to whatever, see how long it gets. I'm going to be mindful of the time. I'm not going to do them all. I know for a fact I can't do them all because there's that many of them, but I'm going to try and see how far I get, and then there'll be a part 2, part 3, probably quite a few parts. But anyway, I'll get into this. So starting from A is Ali G. Now I don't want to do any impersonations, but I might have to do some impersonations through here, but I can't do an Ali G impersonation. So Ali G, you must know him. He's absolutely amazing. Sacha Baron Cohen, I do like him, and Borat and all that type of stuff. But this is very watchable, and the film is quite watchable as well. Now this is probably series 1. I'm not too sure about that. I don't think it tells you what series they are. Oh, this is Ali G the movie. I didn't know I had this. Ali G in the house movie, and it's just more of the same, and it's very good. And if you like Ali G, I urge you to get the film. It's not as good as a TV series. A TV series is the best. I probably need to get a few more of them, or maybe look for a box set. But I do like this, and I find them very watchable. I don't find them to date very much. Now this next one is Angry Kid. It's made by the same people who did like what's he called, Wallace and Gromit, and it's like an adult version of that where they've got this kid in the back of the car and he's shouting and swearing and he's like, Dad, what does this mean? It's quite funny. They're not as good as I thought they were. When I first saw it on TV, I used to love it, and then when I bought it again for about 50 pence, I didn't really think it was great. It's one of those ones you can show to some, like a kid who's gotten a bit like older, and you can say to them, here, have a look at this, and it'll be one of the ones that a kid would love. A kid maybe about 12 or 13 will get a good, I know it's 15, but you know what I'm saying. Now this TV series is quite a funny TV series, quite a strange TV series. It's about, if you can imagine this, there's a TV show where, I'm going to say a panel show, like, Would I Lie to You, that type of thing. Well, it's a TV show. Now, they've got a cast, and they've got like celebrities come on, the celebrities play themselves, and then there's some of this TV series is behind the scenes of that show. So the show, you're watching the show, but you're also watching the behind the scenes and the fallouts and the fights of the people on that show. So it's like a kind of behind the scenes, but the behind the scenes are like just false as well. So it's a bit of a strange sort of, I've never seen it on TV, picked it up and it's probably for a couple of pounds, and I did really enjoy it. And it's a funny film, it's a funny TV series, got a lot of stars in it. I don't know if it says series 1, but I don't think it was any more than series 1. And its guests include Russell Brand, Elton John, Jonathan Ross and David Williams. So yeah, not too bad, worth a watch anyway, quite funny. Now this next one is the Armando Iannucci shows. I think there's only one series of this as well, the complete series, yes, and it's to do with the fella there he's a writer on The Thick of It, and he's also a writer of Alan Partridge. And this is like sketches about his life, and he's talking about things that matter to him, and it's really funny, and he's got a really good play on words, this fella. It's a very watchable show. It's one you can find out in the wild, but it's one of the ones that really slipped under the radar, and I'm glad I saw it, and I'm glad I got it. I do watch it quite a lot. I'm so tempted to do something here, but I'm not going to, because I'll probably make a fool of myself. I think I can probably do impersonations of Craig David. No. And but this is ultra watchable, so funny. I watched it recently and I still enjoyed it. And the Craig David thing, we all know that Craig David took very much umbrage to the whole Craig David thing about, you know, what he was used to carry a bird of prey Kes around with him. And it's so off the wall, and it's irrelevant, my God, can't say that one either. Irrelevant. Yes, well, it's that one anyway. So that's series 1. Series 2, which was still good. I did enjoy it. In fact, I watched it recently and I did enjoy series 2. Series 3, I thought was a little bit not as funny. It still had, it's starting to change the formula, and I didn't really like the way it went. I preferred the formula of like series 1 and 2. And also I did get this one which ties into that, A Bear's Tale, which it's alright, but it's not great. I think I got this for like literally 10 pence. It's okay. I don't think it's something that I watch all the time. I might watch it every now and again, but yeah, I only got it for a bit completely. I don't really get, I do like Keith Lemon. Me and my wife saw Keith Lemon in London. He was walking across the street in front of us, and I said to my wife, as you do, screamed out, "There's Keith Lemon." And she said, "Who?" And then he was gone. So she probably thinks I'm lying. So the next one is Big Train. Now this one has series 1 and series 2, and it stars Simon Pegg. It's a very early outing for Simon Pegg, and also the people in here are excellent. You've seen them in loads of stuff, and I don't know what the names are, of course, when I'm starting to think of it, but you get Kevin Heldon, Mark Heap, Rebecca Front. These are people who have went on to like star in big things, but this was a very early sketch show from them, and some of the sketches in here are really good. It's well worth a watch, very funny and watchable. I don't know if this ever goes on the TV these days. I don't know if TV shows actually get shown that much on the TV these days. Bottom, aye. So what I'm doing at the moment is, he's got to say this right, I do like Bottom, but that's, you know, you go into CEX and they say, "Can I help you?" And they say, "Yes, I'm looking for Bottom." Aye. So this one here, I'm starting to collect the whole lot of them, but it's I just get them cheap from CEX, and I know there's a box set out there, and I probably should have got that one, but I've got series 1. I've also, and then I've started to get these, you know, I've seen a couple of these and they're quite funny. They're a bit over the top and a bit manic, but I do like them. I've started to think, well, I'll watch them when I get the series. I'll go through. I like to watch a series from start to end, even though you don't really have to watch them from start to end. There's no arc in it, but I do like watching them ones there. So the next one is a Bruiser. Now this is really very much under the radar. Now this has got a stellar casting as well. It's got Olivia Colman, who's now the sort of darling of movies now. She wins quite rightly, she wins all these accolades. It's also got Martin Freeman, The Hobbit, there, and from The Office. It's also got David Mitchell and Robert Webb. So David Mitchell and Robert Webb, they are from the Mitchell and Webb show, and also Peep Show and stuff like that. So this one here is a great, they only ever made the one series. It's got some excellent sketches in here, very worth a watch if you can find it. I was so glad to get that one. Now the next one is another one we got from CEX, and I did like it. I watched maybe the first season, maybe the second season as well, and sort of fell out of watching it. I do need to go back and watch the whole lot, but it's one of them ones. I know I can get a cheap Blu Ray set, but that's season 2, and that's season 3. So that's as far as we got, and like I say, you can get these for next to out in CEX. I do plan on watching the whole lot, but it's one of them ones where I do think as well with American TV shows, sometimes it can be dead long, and like Walking Dead, it's just got so long. I've never really got into it, never kept up with it because it's just so long. And Game of Thrones, got no interest in that as well, but it's just too much. If you wanted to go back to it, it's just too much stuff to go into. I prefer the shorter British stuff. So this next one is another firm favourite of mine, Burnistown. Now this one here is a Scottish show, and these two fellas on here, do these sketches, and you've probably seen some of the sketches on YouTube. They put a lot of their stuff on YouTube. There's a one of when the fella, and I can't remember his name, he's going to say he's called Wee Davy or something, and he goes for an interview in X Factor with Simon Cowell, and he can't stop swearing, and he just uses swearing as punctuation, and they have to tell him you've got to stop swearing in this whole show, and he's a good singer, but he can't stop swearing. And so I've got that's series 1, and season 2 and season 3 of them. I do think there's more of them. I do think there's about I'm going to say maybe 5 seasons. I have seen them all, but I do need to finish off the collection, but I don't know if you can get the rest of them on DVD. Sorry, yeah, DVD. Now a lot of these things on DVD, I don't think they'll ever go to a Blu Ray, and they look quite good on DVD. I don't mind the fact that they're not ultra high definition. It doesn't matter so much with these TV shows. Some shows I do like to have in Blu Ray, and I do have some TV shows in Blu Ray, which I'll probably do in a separate video. They're scattered amongst the shelves, they're not really in one section. I think these are all together. Now the next one is Steve Coogan and Steve Coogan's Run, and it's about 6 episodes of different characters that Steve Coogan had, and some of them are really funny, and they're all tying into each other. And you've got Paul Calf there, and it's all separate episodes of that particular character. It's all about them, and it's really quite funny. And I do. If you're a fan of Steve Coogan, you don't know about this one. It's a very early one. I think it's very mid-90s. So I would suggest you go and have a look for him, because for this one, get it cheap, and it's a really good show as well. I think all of these shows, I do personally think all these shows are good. This one here was a part 2 to this, but this is Charlie Says. And now when you were a kid in the 70s, you always used to see these on the TV. The best public information films in the world. Now these are the ones that used to come on for the telly for just 2 or 3 minutes, and used to give you some public service announcements. Don't talk to strangers, and somebody came up and talk to me, and I'm a stranger, and watch where your road safety. It's got the Green Cross code, man. It's got loads of things. There's like a Doctor Who telling you not to use the Green Cross code, and it's dead watchable. You put it on, and there's tons and tons of the public service announcements, and you can just let it on, just let it play. I find the ones that you really liked very watchable. I know there's a part 2, but I haven't got the part 2. I will get it one day if I find it cheap. This next one is Chewing the Fat, series 4. I would like to get them all. I haven't found them all yet. And these 2 here are from Vic and Bob from, is it Vic and Bob? No, Victor and, I can't remember his name, but they're from Still Game, when they get dressed up as old guys. And I know Still Game, the old people in here are on this disc as well, in some shape or form, before they actually got their own series, which is amazing. But lovely, really good Scottish humour, well worth a watch. But I would like to get the other seasons of it, because one of these is just not enough. Hopefully a box set, but will it ever come out? Now this one, I wouldn't say it scared us as a kid, but I did used to think was a bit odd. Chucky. Funny enough, Mogwai, it's a band. It's not talking about the Gremlins film, although they got the name from it. They have a song called Chucky, and this is all the 6 episodes from. I'm sure there's another thing called Childish Children. You can buy them together as well, and it's a very odd children's TV program that, if you were at a certain age, it would definitely give you nightmares. And it was one of them ones where you used to say, "You seen that show Chucky?" And it's just nuts. But we were of an age where we weren't bothered about it. But if you were at an age where you were a little bit lower, and you were like in the sort of 6s and 7s, this would have freaked you out big style. And I don't know if it was one of them ones where people wanted to ban it, but I know it was one of them ones where people used to comment on it and say, is that appropriate for young kids? Well, we would have said yes. Now this next one's one of my favourites. It's a big box set of the Comic Strip Presents. It's all of them up to a certain point. And I think it's got, I'm trying to think how many, 39 episodes of the Comic Strip Presents. And it's got all my favourites on here. It's got the Bad News Tour. It's got the Five Go Mad in Dorset. What else? I could Dirty Movie, Fistful of Traveller's Checks. I can probably tell you most of the words from these things because I've just made me friends from school. When we were at school, we used to just constantly talk about these things, and we used to do all the little scenarios from these series, and we loved it. And it does, when it gets into the later ones, it does sort of like tail off a bit. But you've got Rick Mayall, Adrian Edmondson, Nigel Planer, Dawn French, Jennifer Saunders, Alexis Sale, Peter Richardson, Robbie Coltrane. You've got Keith Allen, that's Lily Allen's dad. So you've got loads and loads of stuff to watch on here. If you ever wanted to get it and get into the comic strip, it's really highly recommended, and it's a lovely set as well. And there must be another one that brings you up to speed, because I don't think they make them anymore. They're making up. And this is another one, which is another one that I can name check and say most of the things that's on it, and we can have conversations about it, and anyone's ever seen it knows that it's one of the best TV shows ever. The Day-to-Day. Now, The Day-to-Day is a mock news. It's meant to be a bit like Newsnight, and I'm sure that the fella on it, Chris Morris, has modelled himself on Jeremy Paxman, because he's got that sort of air about him. And the news items in here are absolutely ludicrous, but they are so funny. Alan Partridge makes his debut on this series, and it's so well edited, and it's written by Chris Morris and Armando Iannucci. So it's really, really worth a watch, and if you haven't seen it, you've got to see it. They only ever made the one series. They should have made more, because they had loads of legs left in it, but they just all sort of split up and went all the ways. There's a woman in here called Doon McKagan, who you still see on TV, and she is the spitting image of my wife. So there you go. I keep telling her that as well, but she says she's not, but she is. Now, this next one as well, it's starring Rob Brydon. It's called Director's Commentary. Now, I haven't really watched this one, but I have seen bits of it, and I'm sure it's just basically they take some kind of old, I don't know, some old whatever, and they put like a director's commentary, as if it was you were watching a movie and you had a director's commentary and telling you all about it, and they just take this and just ramble about this bit of footage. It's just all rubbish that they're talking, but it's quite good to have this fake director's commentary across these things. So I can't even remember it being on TV, but I just thought it's a really good idea, that, and I do need to check it out a bit more. But it's one of these ones where you say I will look at this next time, but I just never get around to it. Now, the next one is a really good one as well. If you're a fan of Amicus, or Hammer House of Horrors, these sort of what do I call them? I can't remember what the sort of the term for these anthology films, where you've got like maybe a few things happen, and you've got like a few little scenarios happening in the same movie. So this is like that, and you've got and Now the Fearing, Frenzy of Tongues, Curse of the Blood of the Lizard of Doom, Lesbian Vampire, Lovers of Lust, Voodoo, Feet of Death, and Scream Satan's Scream. It's Steve Coogan's there, Dr. Terror's House of Horrible, and it's really funny. It's got a load of like comedy stars in it, and I do urge you to get this, and it's very funny. And if you're a fan of those old 70s films, you will know exactly what I mean. That this is a great homage to that, and it does sort of like not take the mick out of them, but it did sort of like do the sort of the strange stupidness of some of them. It does bring it to the front, and it does run with that. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I've got plenty more to go, so that's you up to E. So the next time I'll start with E. So thanks very much for listening. I hope some of these were a little bit of a help to you, and if you want to know about any of these ones, drop something down in the comments below, and I will answer anything that you say about these things, and let me know if these are some of your favorites, and let me know if you are thinking about picking some of these up, because most of them I think are still in print and you can get them very cheaply. Okay, so thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.